It's actually pretty easy to make a pie crust. The hard part is getting the pie crust into the pie pan. And let me show you how easy it is using plastic wrap. Welcome to Homemade Cooking in Texas. I'm Carolyn Gibson from Dogwood Gardens, where homemade cooking is surprisingly easy, healthier for you and your family, saves money, and tastes great. Come join me today as I share my favorite recipes, and I hope they will become your favorite recipes. And don't forget, like and subscribe to my channel. Okay, don't be afraid to make a pie crust. I'll show you the simple method. Now I'm starting out with 2 cups of sifted flour and some salt, and I'm using shortening. I'm using lard. Now back, my grandmother always used lard, and all the older women always know that lard makes the best pie crust. Well, when they came out with shortening, everybody started switching over to shortening. Shortening is hydrogenated oils. Now, nowadays we know that is not good for you, so people are going back to using lard. Now, if you don't want to use an animal fat, if you watch my video on how to make a coconut pie, I show making a crust with a coconut oil. So let's get started. And I'm just going to kind of cut this in. Now you can use your fingers, you can use 2 knives, you know, whatever method you prefer. Okay, now I've got this all cut in. It's kind of in little crumbly pieces like that. You can kind of see what it likes. And now I'm going to add some water. Now I've got a fork, and I'm going to add like 4 to 5 tablespoons of ice cold water, just kind of depending on what it looks like. I want it moist enough where it'll stick together, but I don't want it, you know, runny wet. There's 2 tablespoons. And one of the secrets to a good pie crust is not to overwork it. So you want to be kind of quick about this, not overdo it. There's 3, 4. I'm going to go with 5 and see how it holds together. Now, a lot of people are just kind of scared to make a pie crust, but they're really not that difficult. Let's see. Oh yeah, this will really go together good. Oh, that makes a good ball. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. I need to go wash my hands, and I'll be right back. Okay, now what makes this pie crust easy is that we're going to, instead of rolling it out on flour, we're going to put down some plastic wrap. And I'll show you how easy this makes it. Kind of clean my surface. Now when you're using plastic wrap or whatever, and it doesn't want to stick to the table, if you'll sprinkle just a little water on your work surface, then this is going to lay down flat. I've put my plastic wrap down, and I did it kind of in 2 layers to make it wider. Okay, now it's just a matter of taking my ball, flattening it out, and now I need some more plastic wrap. If you have trouble fighting with this stuff like I do, it seems like I do better if I use a pair of scissors rather than trying to use the serrated metal on the box. Just have a rolling pin. Now this is, even though I'm making 1 pie, I made enough for 2 because I want it plenty big on my pan. And I found when I use like the 1 crust recipes, it really makes it a skimpy pie crust. So you always start rolling out from the middle. Now we've got this laying out flat, and now I'm just going to take my pan, make sure it's plenty big, and we'll take this top layer off. do my pan like that. And then I just flip. Looks like I could have screwed it over a little bit more. I'm just pressing it in there. And I take off this stretch wrap. Now, if for some reason you're having trouble getting it off, you could put the whole thing in the refrigerator and then the stretch wrap would come off a little easier. I want to prep my pan. Then do the edges with the fork. You see how I've got it like that. To make the, you know how they flute the edges, well you really need a lot of pie crust to flute the edges. So what I'm doing, I'm turning it under, but you can see over here I don't have quite enough. So I'm just going to tear some of this off from one side and just kind of put it on that side. A whole lot of extra on this side. Just going to kind of tear this off. These little places where it's kind of skimpy, I've got this extra dough. I can just come back in here and add a little to it and kind of pinch it. Okay, now you can see how pretty that looks. Now I'm going to preheat my oven to 450 degrees. Okay, I'm going to put this pie crust in the refrigerator and let it rest to keep the dough from shrinking while the oven is preheating. Okay, now my oven is heated to 450 degrees. I've been letting my pie crust rest in the refrigerator, and I'm ready to put it in the oven. Okay, this pie crust actually took about 10 to 11 minutes, but you can see how golden brown it is, and I'm ready to make a chocolate pie with it. Thank you so much for joining me today at Homemade Cooking in Texas. These are my favorite recipes, and I hope they will become yours. Now, if you enjoy these recipes, please like and subscribe so you can see more of these type recipes. We have been making a full-time living here on our organic farm since 1991. We need your support to continue our small family farm by liking and subscribing to our channel. Thank you so much.